Welcome to Talks India 3. Now we explore the transformative potential of artificial intelligence in education with Ajith Balakrishnan, the founder and the chairman emeritus of Rediff.com, who shaped the country's online landscape.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the third edition of Talks India here at the historic Kottayam Public Library. We're absolutely thrilled to have you with us for another enriching evening of insight and inspiration. This is where voices come together to shape the future, to push boundaries and to think critically about the world we inhabit. Talks India is not just a platform but a movement, nurturing the intellectual and cultural fabric of Kottayam as we grow together towards a brighter future. My name is Shibi Anand, an edupreneur and a change enabler, and I'm honored to co-host this evening with the talented Sauparnika Tansen, a gifted singer, theatre artist, and first-year English literature student at CMS College. Together, we will be your hosts for this special evening. To begin this special gathering on a spiritual note, I invite Srija Pradeep to lead us in prayer.
Para Paramurte Namo Namah Paramon Madane Namo Namah Paramon Pavitratmane Chirandara Janmaya Punyatmane Namo Namah Namo
Thank you, Srija, for that heartful prayer, grounding us in grace and unity as we step into this evening of learning and connection. Now let's get to know more about the essence of Talks India and the rich legacy of Kottayam Public Library. Please turn your attentions to the screen for a brief introduction video.
Harness human consciousness and critical thinking to lead India towards becoming a knowledge society. Located at the heart of Kottayam, Kerala, Talks India is launching its first chapter with a monthly program that promises to engage, inspire, and educate. Our program includes a variety of modules designed to cater to diverse interests and age groups, from engaging in discussions with experts and thought leaders, to talks focusing on the world of tomorrow by prominent individuals. Interactive sessions delve into TED Talks and similar presentations, fostering an exchange of ideas. Innovation idea pitching provides a platform for showcasing groundbreaking ideas, and we encourage young minds to develop their oratory skills and share their perspectives. Each year, we host an annual convention incorporating exhibitions, literary sessions, educational tours, and science and technology sessions. Talks India aims to establish itself as a sustainable and innovative model that can be replicated globally. Our vision includes the creation of Thinkers Academy, offering online and offline courses in collaboration with institutes and industries worldwide. The Institute of Public Policy will develop future policymakers and political leaders, creating effective public policies. We will also curate digital archives, establish media centers, and publish educational materials, ensuring knowledge is accessible to all. Talks India will support innovation and entrepreneurship among youth through our startup facility, aligning with self-reliance, Atmanirbhar, Make in Kerala, and Make in India for the world. Talks India is more than just an initiative. It's a movement towards fostering knowledge, critical thinking, and innovation. Led by the Kottayam Public Library and MA Foundation, Talks India is set to revolutionize the way we think, learn, and innovate. Join us as we lead India towards a brighter, more enlightened future. Together, we can shape a better tomorrow.
To officially open today's event and introduce our esteemed speaker, I'm delighted to invite Mr. Abraham Ititeria, the President of Kottayam Public Library, for the welcome speech and to introduce our guest of the day. A true leader and a visionary, Mr. Ititeria has been instrumental in transforming this library into a beacon of knowledge to our community.
Esteemed dignitary Ajith Balakrishnan, the speaker of the day, Mrs. Renu Balakrishnan, eminent citizens of Kottayam, talented youngsters drawn from local educational institutions, and well-wishers of Kottayam Public Library. Well, this is indeed a pleasure for me. The oldest library in Kerala, 142 years. It was started in 1882 when the city of Kottayam was founded by T. Ramarayar, the Divan Peshkar of that time, when the capital of Northern Division was at Shertale. It will be very difficult for you to imagine that Shertale could have been leading ahead of Kottayam those days. But then Divan Peshkar T. Ramarayar decided that the capital has to be brought to a safer place, not an area which gets flooded off and on. So he went to the king, Vishagam Dirunal, who was quite fond of him, because the Ramarayar man was a Maharashtra Brahmin coming from Tanjore, Maharashtra state. Raja Sharaboji's family was that. Shivaji had brought down his forces to South India, and then some of them were left back. And the chief of that, Sharaboji, had started a state in Tamil Nadu at Tanjore. So many people who were there had the early advantage of going to Madras city and learn English and other knowledge fields. And this Madhava Rao, who was the Divan of Travancore, and his nephew, T. Ramarayar, they all came from that place. And many others had gone from that place to be Divans of Mysore and other states in southern areas. So Kottayam was started in 1880 by transferring the capital from Shertale to Kottayam. And then Ramarayar immediately decided that a new township has to be established over here. So what he did was, where you are sitting now was a slushy area, a swamp, where pythons used to breed in large numbers. So much so, the president who is speaking of Kottayam Public Library had caught more than 6 pythons. Not myself, I had directed people to catch. The last one was caught about 12 years back. People were trying to kill. I said no. The ഭൂമിയുടെ അവകാശികളാണ് വൈക്കം മുഹമ്മദ് ബഷീറിന്റെ ഭാഷയിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ. നമ്മളും അവരും ഒരുപോലെ ഇവിടെ ജീവിക്കാൻ അവകാശപ്പെട്ടവരാണ്. So allowing them to survive. We got the forest people down, and the forest people had taken this python, big one, back. After that we had not seen one. So that was the condition of this area. Tirunakara was absolutely a jungle with hard laterite formations all around. Ramarayar in 1880, he started ruling, decided to blast away the rock. Rock as hard as real rock. That is granite, laterite, hard laterite. And then the jungle was cut away. He made it in a level place right from Tirunakara temple up to Kanyikuri, and made it into a beautiful area where he had built a new town. That way Kottayam has nothing much to boast about the past history, because Kottayam was started not as early as Koilon, not as early as Kodingalur, not as early as Calicut. It's a comparatively new town. But in 7 years, Ramarayar had decided to start an ultra-modern capital for the Travancore state. And he did it in 7 years. He has added almost everything that you find in this area now, except the few flats that have come up. And this Shastra Road which has come up, and Kuridudup Road that way. All else was a creations of T. Ramarayar. Take the MC Road, cutting through the place, KK Road, going right up the highland. Then the Tirunakara Maidan, which was a slave-selling area, made into a police parade ground. And the entire secretariat for him, for the district administration, was set up. The place where you have now the Josco jewelry is functioning. Police, treasury, justices, courts, and all the rest of it, jail. Then he had started this market, the place where the market is there. And this hospital, the place where the hospital is now, the boat jetty, which unfortunately is now not transport easy because of the accumulation of earth flowing down from Tirunakara top. So like that, he made it into an absolutely new town. The next thing he did was, he wanted to play tennis because those people were all educated in Madras and all ultra-modern specimens. He started the Union Club for playing tennis, where we were all playing. Many of us were playing over there. The next thing he did was to start a public library. And he started Kottayam Public Library in the year 1882. The oldest library in Kerala, barring the state library at Trivandrum. He started with 740 books and 74 members. Now we have 6,000 odd members and 2.5 lakh books. And so many other things, including the sculpture, Achara Shilpam, costing 65 lakhs, created by the greatest of the sculptor in India now, Kanai Kunjiraman. He is here. He is constructing another mega structure over here, which is to be called the Colosseum of Kottayam, reminding the Roman Colosseum, where performances will be there every week. Dance, music, drama, all conceivable kind of diversions for the people of Kottayam are going to be here. So this place, suddenly we decided, the youngsters of Kottayam who are here in large numbers from the leading schools around, they are having no facility to converse, to hear with the brightest minds in India. So, we had a wonderful person joining us, Mulamotil Achan, Abraham Mulamotil Achan from Tiruvalla, who had done great things over there, including Pushpagiri Hospital, the sole person who had managed it, then Pushpagiri Medical College, and so many other things. Now he feels that Tiruvalla, he has done his best and now he wants to turn his ability to Kottayam. So we warmly hugged each other. We started having a new, an era for Kottayam. So the first thing we did was that Talks India. And here 12 speeches, orations will be there from the brightest minds in India. We don't want to bring in politicians as such. We don't want to bring in religious leaders as such. Because everybody is hearing them every day. Here we are selecting people. The first one selected was Tushar Gandhi, great-grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. I don't have to explain anything else about him or about his great-grandfather, which is the byword of India. The second was Medha Tai. She's known like that. Medha Patkar. who fought for millions of people suffering because of the mismanagement of policy by the rulers. 5 states were suffering for lack of water. So she opened up a great protest movement, Narmada Bachao. So she is a byword for action, always trying to rush to the spot where she is needed, where changes are required. So like that, the second speaker, and these two, for those who have not come for those speeches, only I am saying these things. For those who have not heard about Kottayam Public Library, I am saying these things. So these two great personalities have assembled large number of crowd. Today is also coming to that level. And they heard for 1.5 hours was the speech of Megatai. 1 hour was the speech of Tushar Gandhi. Afterwards, the bright children from the many leading schools of Kottayam came here with questions. And these two of them were kind enough to answer all those questions. And they appreciated the caliber of the students for having asked that kind of questions, which even provoked them to go to higher levels of ecstatic answering. So now we have no one other than Ajith Balakrishnan, a colossus striding across continents, you can say. He has come here because he has some connections with Kottayam, Renu, who is also my sister, twice removed. We call second cousins. And so many of our relatives are over here. So they have come here with great difficulty. We managed to get connected. And then he agreed to come and connected it up with some other family function and get-togethers and things like that. Well, he is a person who has been in Bombay and connected with all IIMs in India. And for 10 years, IIM Calcutta was headed by him. A supremo, you can say, in the field of IIMs, and a visitor to many other IIMs all over the world. So he will be able to dispel any doubts about artificial intelligence, because people are getting confused. People think that if artificial influence was there, Einstein would have done much more than what they could do. Yes, they could have done, because artificial intelligence is going to make work easy, reach distances which nobody had covered before, and it is a little difficult for people at our age to understand, but children, they will understand. They are up to it. So that way, I have Mr. Ajith Balakrishnan is a peerless exponent in the field of artificial intelligence. He is a founder and chairman emeritus of Rediff.com. Also, he is a pioneer entrepreneur and business leader, renowned for his contribution to education, entrepreneurship, and internet technology in India. He is a prominent presence in key government committees. He has guided the IIM Calcutta as chairman of the Board of Governors for a decade, 2 terms of 5 years each. The topic he deals today is AI and the future of education, empowering next generation creativity and critical thinking. In this session, he will explore the transformative potential of artificial intelligence in education. focusing on its implications for nurturing creativity and critical thinking among students in India. Now, you students of Kotte were lucky to drink straight from the fountain source. This topic will be interesting for today's audience, who I am sure will be keen to understand artificial intelligence's role in shaping future learning experiences, the challenges it presents, and the opportunities it opens in India. With these words, I have the great pleasure of presenting Mr. Ajith Balakrishnan, the undisputed pioneer in application of artificial intelligence in our innovations and future learnings. And about Renu, I have to say one word. He is the one who was given a gift of over 1,000 books to this public library. 1,000 books into 300 rupees, you calculate. New books, absolutely new books. All Ajith had purchased and read. No one else has done that. So I welcome Mr. Ajith, Renu and all present here to this glorious evening. Thank you.
You know, I spend typically between 2 and 4 hours a day writing code, computer code, in the Python programming language to experiment with what's going on the internet. So I'm not a sahib who sits and talks about things. I'm a worker, like an industrial worker who works with his own hands. Don't forget that I'm from Kannur. I was born and brought up originally in Kannur, but now live in Bombay. If you open any kind of media, you get banged on all sides with questions like this. You know, will AI kill meaningless jobs? Okay? Or questions like, AI is coming for your job. New research shows up to 30% declining in writing, coding, and imaging jobs. Or AI won't replace humans, but humans with the AI will replace humans without AI. And this is just a brief snapshot of all the things which are done. So I want to equip all of you with enough information and knowledge so you can deal with the bewildering kind of things that you see everywhere. Okay? Typically, the current version of AI, you are likely to encounter, many of you must have encountered already, into things like ChatGPT, which is a clear leader today, Google Assistant, Snapchat, Amazon's Alexa, Google Maps, and some portion of Google Search itself. The current strong leader is something called ChatGPT, which you can go and subscribe to it. It's only a paid service. So it will cost you about, I think, about 6,000 rupees a year or 7,000 rupees a year. And then you can experiment. For example, before just coming a couple of days ago, I raised this question to ChatGPT on my phone. It says, in 25 words, tell me how Kerala's GDP compares with other states. A quick question. GDP is gross product. It says Kerala GDP ranks 11th among Indian states, contributing approximately 3.8% to India's economy with a per capita GDP of 281,000. Now, if I had taken that question that I had, I'd put it into Google search, it'll say, here are some 5,000 sites. Then you have to dig into the sites and find out who's saying the truth, who's not saying the truth. Here you get the truth in a very succinct form. Then you can go and research the rest that you want. Similarly, who directed and acted in the Malayalam film Chemmin? The reason I picked that was when I was the age of you guys, 18, 19. Chemmin was a super big hit in here. So it says immediately, Chemmin is a 1966 Malayalam film directed by Kariyat. The film features so and so and so and so, and that's it. So for practically any kind of question that you have on earth, you learn the art of asking it correctly. You get an instant word. And now I make it a point always say, tell me in 30 words or 25 words or 50 words. Because the old habit of searching, putting a keyword in Google and seeing 100 sites and then going deep into, we don't have the time for that anymore. Okay? A little bit of tech talk inside here. How does this ChatGPT-like things work? What it is, typically most of them work off a mobile phone. Because as we speak, the personal computer PC is slowly sliding into oblivion. We're not noticing it, but slowly. The current phones that we all have, like the Google Pixel 9 that I have, contains more memory than most PCs, contains more programming power than most personal computers. The damn thing's available for 45,000 rupees or so, and you can carry it in your pocket. Now here, the second layer, and this is true for young in the computer science, something called natural language processing. It goes and searches the knowledge base. Now this means that they have, people like ChatGPT have crawled the entire internet data. Everything that is on the internet, starting with Wikipedia, Google Books, etc., and compiled it into one huge data center from which they're pulling the answers. So there is nothing magical about it. You go and search the entire internet, collect all the data and keep it somewhere, and then you write a simple program and you have a question like Chemin, what is Chemin? Pull the data from there. So there is no magic which is happening here. But the cost needed to pull the database in terms of accumulate the data is massive, massive, several square kilometers worth of computers. Now, the question which gets asked most often is, who will impact and what kind of jobs will be impacted? Now, in all my slides, which I'm going to, the presentation is left behind with these folks, I've always given a link at the bottom, so that if you want to dig deeper into this question, just go deeper and see the rest. Every slide has that link at the bottom. Here, for example, they believe that new job creations will happen in health, scientific and tech, communication, etc., etc. But when you go into things like transportation and public administration, the financial insurance, a lot of jobs are going to be cut. Now, this again is a debate which is going on. Which jobs will be cut and what will be added? Okay? So I think, but there is a great amount of debate going on. This is a quick summary of it. The short answer is nobody knows as yet what is going to happen. But like in any technology which comes, my favorite memory of it is in the mid-80s, when the personal computer arrived in India and went into banks. It removed 2 or 3 layers of clerks in banks who were writing books, who would sit there and write books with their own hand. That group went away. But as what replaced were things like credit cards which you can swipe and take the money, ATMs where you can put your money and take it back. Earlier, I remember I was in my 20s at that time. You had to draw some 5,000 rupees cash, you had to go and stand outside your bank and wait in a queue for 1 or 2 hours. And then they will say, oh, I'm sorry, but we run out of cash today. And then you go home. Well, all that sent went away when the personal computer was invested, banking got computerized. And then you had lots of benefits, which we have all forgotten today. But similar benefits will occur. So it's a debate which is going on. Second, it is always important to remember, I'm using an example here, of how technology evolves. It evolves through a very systematic way. See how the car evolved. First there were horse-drawn carriages. Then the carriage itself was changed a little bit to have, not just a caravan-like top, but to have doors and windows, okay? That again, all that they did was work very, very hard. A team of people worked throughout the world, it got done in America, to just replace the horse with an engine. See, that's all that happened in that leap. Then the body got improved, etc., etc. Here again, that link will tell you what was the push, what led to the car being invented. And one of the intriguing thoughts is that women, well-to-do women, did not want to either ride a horse or go in one of those domed caravans. They were the ones pushing in America. Well-to-do women were the drivers of forced cars to be invented. And that you will find stories of that kind. My favorite topic in life now that I have free time is to try and find the link between society and technology and how they match each other. And so you'll find a lot of this. So the invention of the car was based on pressure from well-to-do women. Okay? Now, the other thing is something as simple as a bicycle. All this is the background to saying, where is AI going to go, what path? So we can only join it in watching it. For example, the first horse was called a hobby horse. And this is how it was invented in 1817. Because all the horses in that 1816 period died of starvation. There was a major famine. And there were no horses to go anywhere. Somebody thought of this idea where you put that gadget and then you walk occasionally, and then when it go down a slope, you sit and it go down. When you go up a slope, you walk up and down. So you see the evolution of technology in very simple terms. Similarly, it became a four-wheel vehicle. Then it was the same as penny farthing got invented. It's called penny farthing. The penny is the front wheel and coin is smaller in size. And over time, from between 1816 and 1885, the bicycle got invented. So similarly, when anyone talks to you about AI, you'll see an evolution which is gone. And watch it carefully. Don't get frightened. Like say, it'll evolve in some ways where human beings want it to evolve. This is being evolved as people said, if I have this, it's not interesting for me. If I have the penny farthing, it is too difficult. I may fall down because it is very high. So when discussion takes place on artificial intelligence, or as a matter of fact, on any technology, ask that people come and tell me what is the path it will take. Let us try and work out what is beneficial to all of us. This is something just to remind you that everything about technology may not be such non-controversial. Here is a famous one which led to the independence of India. Okay, in India, we used to have a spinning wheel. Okay, then people out in Lancaster, Manchester, when invented what is called the spinning jenny. That kind of semi-destroyed jobs in India. And Gandhi's movement was basically against any kind of automation. The spinning jenny later became textile mills. But the basic breakthrough was one person could see, and instead of spinning one thread, he could spin 16 threads at the same time. It's as simple as that. And that is the starting of the textile revolution. And as you know, it created Marx and his friend, Mr. Engels, were both in Manchester at that time. And I don't know whether many people don't, even my leftist friends in Kannur don't know this story. Engels' father owned a textile mill in Manchester at that time. Okay, and his friend Marx was always short of money. So Marx would go to him and say, give me £1 so that I can pay this week's food, etc. So they were discussing. And when they saw this, they saw that people were displacing spinners' jobs, and there's another weaver. That is the origin of Marxism, these two. This evolution is the evolution of Marxism, the concept. Now, if you take, this is to take a longer view of things. It is not just cotton textiles led to spinning mills and benefits, etc. There were, first there was, stone tools were invented by people in 2 million BC. Okay, human beings were living around at that time. Then there were bronze tools and there were iron tools. Then 1780, that is when the so-called Industrial Revolution took place, largely in Manchester in England, and then it spread. Water power, then steam power, and electric power, combustion power, communication and storing, and now computing. So what we are encountering, in terms of AI and other things, is a continuation of these long waves of innovation. It is nothing new to be shocked about. It's just one of the a small delving into techie stuff. The underlying any of these so-called artificial intelligence type thing is a simple method of computing using algebra. The computing there is, for example, the entire data that we have on the internet, and see how often the words king, queen, woman, princess is all applied. That is a fraction that is given. And the so-called artificial intelligence to figure out an algorithm which will say, king plus queen is what? Rather, king, a woman plus something is what, etc., etc. So it is nothing more than basic algebra which is underlying that. Okay, it's given various big names, etc. Now, generally speaking, those of us who are inside the trade, people like me, in attending various conferences at the IITs and IIMs, we never use the word artificial intelligence. It is like calling all women mem-subs, something like that. A woman may be a doctor, a lawyer, a professional, a good mother. So you don't say all say mem-subs, mem-subs. So the term artificial intelligence has this kind of exaggeration about it. There's nothing artificial or intelligent about it. The term that we all use inside the trade are things like machine learning, how you teach a computer to read patterns in a data. It's simple programming. There's no great intelligence involved in it. And then deep learning because they use a series of algorithms one after the other. So it has to go deep. That's it. So generally speaking, I think generally the word AI is something which is hype. The reality is deep learning and machine learning. Some quick summary on what AI can affect education. Okay, one is that you can get first area which has come chatbots and virtual assistants. ChatGPT is one of that. Automated grading. You just enter all your question papers and answer papers, and you can write an algorithm which is graded quickly. Saves a lot of time. Okay, intelligent tutoring systems. If you have to teach youngsters how do you do 1 + 3 is 4, and what is the reason why, we can create programs which on a mobile phone will say this is the reason. Try this, try that. Curriculum planning, which is very important. It's a very major topic by itself. That learning analytics to see who are the kids who are learning and who are not. Put a red signal so we can step in and help. And content recommendations, what to read next. Okay, so when you master all this and do it, what happens is to any child in any school, if the school be in a rural village in UP where nobody reads any books, or in Kottayam where everyone reads books, that child will get the same quality of information available through the internet for them. So we can make the average quality available rise tremendously. And if I was part of government's various committees, and I went through parts of Bihar and part of Eastern UP. You go to some of those schools, or I used to go to polytechnics, not schools. Polytechnics, you wonder, my God, they treat little children like dirt. The question is, why do you need to learn anything? Where if you said that in Kerala, you'll get shot. So in all those areas, high quality can be delivered. In education, customized learning, it doesn't need to be one person speak to a class of 100. Each child, the program can customize what to teach them first, what to keep them next, how to circle back and teach the person more. Content development, access, K-12 learning, education for differently abled. Some kids, like me, I was born with a family which emphasized on mathematics, and my mother used to say, even in class 5 or 7, if I came with any number, let's say 90% in mathematics, Amma will catch me and say, what happened, baby? The day of your exam, did I put too much salt into your dosa? That's why I scored only 90 and not 100. But the pressure was, you must always score 100%. But that's not true for everyone. I also know parents who say, what is this? All mathematics is all bullshit, don't waste your time on that. Go and read some nice stories. The concerns about AI in education, again, I've summarized it, but for people who are interested, that link gives you all the rest. Number one is plagiarism. People think that you can take a ChatGPT on your phone and enter. So by and large today, mobile phones have been banned from all exams in all places in the world. But soon, small chips will arrive, are under design now, which you don't need to, ChatGPT can be used from one tap of the finger on that one. So you'll have a challenge on plagiarism and work. Reduced human interaction. The examples like that gave, showing the child in front of a laptop or in front of a mobile phone, implies that interaction with teachers is less, that is not that great. Data privacy issues, because you can map every child's ability, so you can use it against them if you're a dictator type of leader. Some degree of job displacement exists that will happen. So unequal access to these resources, maybe well-to-do kids will have, or kids who live in bigger cities will have more access versus others. So these we need to keep thinking. I think Forbes has an excellent article pointing all this out. Business of AI is essentially, we all think that you can personalize the learning. Otherwise, you have a class of 50 students, the IQs range from X to 2X. Okay, and the background with their parents, they come from families who are completely different. Okay, so I think the general belief is that you get intelligent tutoring systems, automatic grading and assessment, so that saves the time for the teacher, chatbots and assistants, curriculum planning, learning analytics, content recommendation. So all of these are positive ways that AI can help education. And I think some transformative applications, many of you youngsters, you're experimenting on things, have a look at these. It is believed that personalized learning, smart content creation, etc., all of these are customized database feedback. All of these are features you can put into small apps which children can use to, and teachers can use to boost the learning immensely, and nothing to be afraid of. Now here is an important chart that I hope you remember me for. Over time we've learned that in the area of any kind of technology, initially an innovation comes, like AI or a steam engine or a motor car, etc., etc. There's a sudden growth of expectations. Okay, it goes all the way up. Then they find that it is not all that is believed to be, it's all bullshit. So the expectation comes all the way down, and you enter what is called the trough of disillusionment. Then you say, oh God, steam engines are bullshit, they will only reduce jobs, so make sure that nobody ever builds a factory. My friends Marx and Engels made the conclusion, right? Don't allow any factories to be built, only all jobs will be displaced, etc. And then over a period of time, what is called the slope of enlightenment. So whenever new technical innovation comes, it takes about 30, 40 years to pass through all this. For example, here is a belief based on some studies that the consulting company Gartner has created, that where is AI at this moment? They all believe that AI at the moment, well, I think that it's somewhere in the period where it's currently at the peak of inflated expectations, currently, okay? Somewhere in this middle here. Now, in the next 6 months to 8 months, if you hear a lot of people feeling disillusioned and saying, hey, what is this crap? AI is producing nothing. Don't be clap, say, oh God, it's going away, or weep. But then it'll go through a process where the right AI will emerge. Okay? So this is kind of innovation trigger, the peak of inflated expectations, the trough of disillusionment, and then the slope of enlightenment and the plateau of productivity, which just keep on rising and actually delivering. So when you look at newspaper headlines, you ask yourself, where in this chart are people coming? Relies on algebra as an underlying science. And there are various improvements on that. Now, if you look at the word algebra, it is very interesting. It has come from an Arabic word called al-jabr. Al-jabr. And when you dig deeply, and we found this out from digging up the Bakshali manuscript, it arose somewhere in the northern middle part of Kerala, back in those days. Yeah, I'll tell you more. And it went because they were trading with the Arabs, it went to the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. Okay? That is, from there was a man there called Muhammad Al-Ghurasmi, from whose name the word algorithm has come. And during that time, the Ottoman Empire went and conquered parts of Europe. So they started some teaching schools in areas like France and so on. They started teaching algebra and algorithmic word. That is how algebra went to Europe from India BC, before Christ. Okay? So in that sense, many people, we should know that, and in India, algebra as well as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 was invented in that area, in northern part of Malabar and just southwest near Trichuras. From there it spread over India and it spread to the rest of the world. There is some, so in a funny way, when AI fully comes, it is our duty to make sure India wins in this AI claim. But we started the whole process, okay? And there is a lot of documentation on it. There is also a lot of effort by the Indian government, and in this slide I've just given 2, 3 references where there's artificial intelligence movement going on. As usual, it is governments and bureaucrats are throwing lots of money on it. I think the figure that is currently, it's about 10,000 crores has been outlaid on it as a mission to be spent over the next 2 years to get some breakthroughs in artificial intelligence. So keep watching, all the links are here. There is a lot of artificial intelligence is based on the language, large language models which are created. Language is important. So I provided a list of experiments which are going on in Kerala for, so that, because when you give to the average Malayali, he does not going to ask questions in English. He's going to do it in Malayalam. And some things which are very specific to Malayalam and Malayalis must be included. So these are the efforts. You can later go and have a look. Some effort is going on, but like with all these bureaucratic efforts, you never know where they lie. They just keep on having press conferences and nothing much comes out of it. So it's a possibility. But maybe some of us can jump in and help them get there. Just to remind you where some of the things which are lying in front, the famous cases that we know of the reason why Kerala has a Marxist government, etc. Not many people have thought it through. What happened is, you see here, when somewhere in the mid-80s, when I was in Bombay, I came from IIM Calcutta and started my company in 1971. In 1980, there were over 65 or 70 flourishing textile mills. In another 5 years, 1983, they all went on strike. Datta, Samant, and all kinds of people. And some of you with grey hair like me will remember that. And all the mills were closed. And even you ask people who were involved, like Mr. Podar was about 98. I somehow managed to get his granddaughter's friendship and went and spent time with him before he died about 8-9 years ago. And I asked him, why did this textile strike happen? And he said, Datta Samant, Datta Samant. The underlying thing was not that. The underlying thing was nylon was invented in the late 70s. And I still remember when I was in high school and my sister, who was 2 years elder to me, was in college there, one day came home and told Amma and I said, if you don't buy me a nylon sari, I will not go to college. So everyone needed a nylon. Some of you some of you grey-haired friends may remember this. And when that came, the textile mills had no one to buy their cotton. Dhotis, shirts and trousers. None of us at that time, 1980s, would be seen dead in a cotton. But today we wear only cotton. That is a fact. At that time, we needed Raymond's synthetic, polypropylene, polyester with cotton things and so on. So that is the reason why. So all the mills, if you will drive through Bombay, all of them look like this now. Skeletons left over. In Kannur, where my favorite town and hometown, there was something called Commonwealth Spinning and Weaving Mills. Next to my school, St. Michael's School, in the cantonment area. Okay? And that, when we were, it was a flourishing mill. But around mid-80s, they also had to shut down after a strike. Because what happens is when you are producing pure cotton cloth and the market wants polyester cloth or nylon, there is nothing, your sales will go down every day. You can't switch to nylon because the technology is completely different. So then what do? You can't pay your salaries. Then workers will agitate because salaries are not getting paid. So it becomes a strike about wicked capitalists not paying salaries in time. But underlying it is technology has come and overridden this. And that is, you can find it many other people. I think even the Naxalbari movement in Bengal, you know what that is about? At that area, Naxalbari and in most half of Bengal, the main crop was jute. Okay, they were growing jute and exporting it or making carpets, and carpets were being exported to Europe at a fantastic price. And then everything, the Naxalites came and destroyed it. No. What happened is a fiber called polypropylene got invented. It looked and feel exactly like jute, but 1/100th the price. All the jute mills in Calcutta and Bengal closed. And in Naxalbari was a growing area where they were growing the jute. Heads up that when AI moves in, you'll find a lot of agitation opposing it. Be careful, we've seen this before in 8 times in the history of mankind. Don't think that some wicked owners of things are, exploiting all our workers. Nothing of the kind. It's just technology is coming and we have to make sure that we negotiate our way through it carefully. So Gandhiji at Champaran, if you remember, Gandhiji was a very flourishing young lawyer in Bombay after his return from England after his degree. And he wanted to get into the independence movement, and somebody told him about the Champaran movement. He went there. The story told was the British owners of the Champaran jute areas indigo growers from there, indigo growers were there, were exploiting the Indian peasants. But really, the reality was indigo was synthesized in that period in Germany. And nobody wanted natural indigo. That destroyed Champaran. So I know I'm speaking in Kerala, but only a Malayali like me can present it in a way that you won't misunderstand the reason why I'm saying this. So that synthetic and products of that kind, many other people are blamed. But when the technology happens, you have to guide it gently in a way that the pressure is not suddenly felt. You don't fight off polypropylene for 10, 15 years, you ban it, and then suddenly it finds it, you're gone. So all of these jute mills, indigo mills. Just to give you, there's a national education policy which is everyone's following. This is the team which put it together, and you will see my name inside here. Okay. I was one of the 10 people who put it together. Okay? And my qualification for that was I am in Calcutta for 10 years. I put in 2 things inside my recommendation, which they've all accepted, and now it is virtually law. One is to teach a subject called data science. Data science will be like physics and chemistry and mathematics, data science, from class 8 onwards. So that has been included in the National Education Policy and has been notified by the Curriculum Commission, etc. In some states and schools, they are doing it early. The idea is that every child goes equipped, not just mathematics and things of that kind. They learn how to look at patterns in data and make conclusions. That is the core of innovation. Okay? And the second strip also, which I've persuade them all to include, it has been added, implementation is underway, that every student in every college, initially in professional college, engineering, medical, dentistry, etc., will mandatorily be given a 4 to 5 month internship in some working place with a small pay, so that while he's a second year or third year student, he understands what's going on in the world. Okay? And then he can do the job better. Anyway, so it's under implementation. And my final slide, some reading some reading material which might be useful for you. I think this is a great book by a person called George G. Verghese Joseph. History, how algebra was invented in Kerala and found its way to Europe. Very well documented. He's a professor of some institution in England, okay, London School of Economics or something of that kind. Well worth reading. If you want to see, artificial intelligence is not about programming. It's like saying, how can I be a driver? To drive a car, you don't need to learn automobile engineering, okay? You know, it's a true driving lesson for 6 months and you know how to drive a car. You don't need to know the theory of vacuum pump. You don't need a theory of all kinds of other things to be able to drive a car. So many tools are coming, what are called low-code AI. When you want to check something, you can use AI, or you just tap, 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 and you see it. Or speak into something and it'll do it for you. It's easy. Remember, it's as easy as learning driving or riding a bicycle. You don't need to hear the theory of physics to be able to ride a bicycle, right? Keep that in mind, okay? And it's a very good book on how it will directly affect education. A chap called Salman Khan, who was founder of Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a semi-free tutorial place, but his book is worth reading very much. And Innovator's Dilemma is all these issues. Whenever an innovation happens, what happens to society? When does it push back? When does it accept it, etc.? And finally, it's a shameless plug of the book I have written called The Wave Rider. And I said my second book on AI and all will come in hopefully in another 6 months' time. Done. How long will it take?
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening and informative session. Insights into how things evolve and how it evolves is decided by us human was quite interesting to note. And you put most of our doubts to rest and examples from history. And thank you for the suggestions of this beautiful array of books on AI. Moving on to our question-answer sessions now.
We now move to the Q&A session, and where the students are selected will have opportunity to post their questions to Mr Ajith Balakrishnan. We have been calling out the names of the school, and the student can stand and ask their question. Let's begin with the first question. Our first question will be asked by Joanna Anil of Excelsior English School.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Joanna Anil of Excelsior English School. This is my question. It is said that the aim is to foster critical thinking in the new generation. How will it take place if the children are given electronic devices like a tablet with AI tools during their developmental years?
I don't see any contradiction when having a mobile phone in front of a child, it will make them less critical thinking. Of course there are things. You can pose questions. You can create programs which end in a question. Why did this man mistreat his wife, or for that matter? Or why did this stock rise from 30 rupees to 500 rupees in a week? You pose questions which are interesting. We have to change education from just saying, this is my curriculum and I will beat you down if you don't study this. You'll have to jump to a method where you make it interesting enough for that person to want to study it. That is the difference. So it will happen. At the moment, too much of our education is gone down to rote learning. The syllabus, and you repeat it and repeat it. So the method of teaching will change very easily when you're using these tools, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, sir.
Hora of Pallikudam.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aaron, and the question I wanted to ask was, in a country as vast as India, where unemployment is rising rapidly, what kind of an impact would AI have?
I think it will have a positive impact, like all technologies, be it the steam engine, or be it a motor car, or whatever, would have some kind of jobs will decrease and other kind of jobs will increase. That is the process. And overall, for example, take the case of the spinning jenny. It increased demand for things simply because prior to that, when we had only charka spinning, nobody other than rich people in India could afford cloth. Most Indians went with some chota jyoti and birches walking around. Okay? But it made it very cheap, affordable. When it made it affordable, 100 times more people started wearing clothes. That's never mentioned in Gandhiji's stories. So it makes it available to all. Okay, some weavers and some spinners come down in terms of number. Similarly, at the moment, good quality education is available only in fancy schools. But I'm worried about 40% of the municipal school children. We need something to make sure that they get ahead in life as well. So this technology will bring high quality education to all. Okay? But will it make some teachers unemployed? Some, yes. But it's not going to be 50% less. Some 15, 20% less, but the percentage who will gain by it will be many more. So my main moral of today is look at some losses you make, some of the gains that you make. In every aspect of life you deal with will have some gains and some losses. So do not worry. So it won't lead to any increased unemployment. I guarantee you that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Mr. Akhilesh Raj of NSS Kargachal.
Sir, my question is really small and very simple. The question, sir, is there any particular ability that you think any AI would never attain and the human already possess?
Sorry, somebody translate it for me.
Yeah, is there any particular ability that you think an AI system would never attain, but humans already possess? That's the question.
Absolutely, a sense of values, sense of judgment. When things are too complex for any algorithm to solve, it happens all the time, even today. And dealing with the ever-changing situation of what all factors you take into account. Humans have that ability built over centuries. So that will always be ahead. That's why I said don't use the word intelligence. We are discussing machine learning. When you see machine learning, which is really what all of us who are insiders in the game do, machine learning will save you many things. Just as like a scooter saves you the thing of having to walk and carry things, you get on the scooter and ride. Yeah. So it's similarly, machine learning will come and help us do things which otherwise is taking us hours and hours of programming and all kinds of things to do. It will speed up things for you. The AI is a hyped up word, so I hope we can be sure the audience to close it down. Yeah.
Akhilesh, I hope you got your answer.
If you're a good boy, you'll say no and I will think
Did
more.
you get your answer?
Yes, thanks, sir. Thanks you.
Yeah, I want you to go and
Akhilesh.
think more. My answer is not a black and white answer. You go and think and keep track of what jobs you're hearing are being lost, what are being gained. You know?
Thank you for that question. Now let's listen to an individual question from Mrs. Shibi Anand, an edupreneur of Enable by Shibi Anand.
Question to you is, as an educator working closely with teachers and students in the field of AI, I see both excitement and apprehension about its integration in education. How can we effectively balance the use of AI tools to enhance creativity and critical thinking while ensuring that the human element in teaching and learning remains central?
The current method is when any new items can be discovered in physics or mathematics, etc. It is put for open discussion. Similarly, any AI-based programs in India must be put for open discussion across universities, particularly places like Kerala, where people openly discuss it without any fear. And I think maybe Kerala can take a lead in, and again, not taking stands for and against, but openly discuss what are the pluses, when will the pluses be delivered, what are the minuses, what can we do to mitigate the pressure of the minuses. So open discussion will help us guide through it. Otherwise, for example, in invention of fertilizers, the early period, people created some synthetic chemical called fertilizers, and it destroyed vast acres of land, particularly abroad in America. Till they had some guardrails on saying, when you mean fertilizer, it means this, these are the checks and balances. So you use fertilizer, and now we use fertilizer everywhere. Or pesticides. It again created havoc when it was first created. But it's the same thing. Any new technology appears, we have to make sure that it goes through a test period openly, not push them to hide them and so on. So we have to use a democratic method to discuss, and when it's finally okay, implement it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Moving on, we have a question from Marian Senior Secondary School.
Good evening, sir. My name is Adi Deves. I'm from Marian Senior Secondary School. So my question is, what challenges have you faced in adopting AI at Rediff? So what challenges have you faced in adopting AI at Rediff?
Okay, connected to a business. Rediff, 80% of our business is providing email service to very large companies. That not most people don't have. For example, if say HDFC Life Insurance Company, that underlying that is the Rediff mail brand inside. We have used it extensively to reduce spam. Because one of the things about email is that people can send you all kinds of marketing messages. So reducing spam, so we had a huge database of correct and not correct spam and not spam. Then we put artificial intelligence jobs. I wrote some of the programs myself to test it, and over time we became pretty good at it. Now, as you may have heard, I've stepped down from day-to-day management of our company because I want to write 2 or 3 books. But currently also writing and contributing to those algorithms. It's a fun thing to do. It's like playing a cricket match against spammers, You create a new algorithm, test it and see what kya karega. So that keeps me alive and wanting to live life. So I think mostly in spam, and I think what we call spam also introduces some kind of horrible thing. Sometimes on email, people will list all Hindus and create a Muslim name and send them messages to agitate them. All kinds of games go on. We can catch them and make sure that those things don't happen. So I think that is basically to make your email trustworthy and safe. That is it.
Thank you. Comes from Basilius Public School.
Good evening, sir. My question to you is, what would you say is the next AI application that is likely to make a big impact after generative AI?
At the moment, lots of excitement is going on application of AI in the financial area, fintech. Okay? And the reason for that is there's many. Those guys are funding it. So I think that's the current one, where there's one very kind of controversial topic is all those, you can do things without currency notes and all that stuff. So that is what it is. I think at the moment, medical help, medicine and consultation on medical thing is getting lots of investment, which basically means that, I'll give you an example. In Bombay, where I and Renu live, if you're an auto rickshaw driver and you have a bad cold and you go to a doctor, he will charge you 500 rupees at least to hear what you have to say. And he doesn't have 500 rupees. 500 rupees is his daily wage, 20 turnover. So he doesn't go. So what we'll have soon, I hope, is on your mobile phone, even a cheap mobile phone, you tap and speak what your feelings are, and it'll ask back like a doctor will ask back, what is it when you sneeze, what is happening, and you breathe in it and the breath will be captured by the phone and it'll tell you, okay, these are the things you should do and these are the pills you should have. That, I think, is making a lot of progress. Medical help then be available to all. Then we'll say, oh, all physicians will be penniless. No, it won't happen. I think the good ones will still be there. But medical help, we have seen first in fintech, it's going, and there's lots more to do, For example, how to do lending. At the moment, unless you know somebody, a small shopkeeper wanting a 3 lakh loan, you won't even know where to go. There again on the mobile phone, he'll ask and it'll ask some question back saying, and then it'll forward his answers to saying, what is your business, how much your revenue per day, show me some pictures of your shop, all that which is done. And it'll send you to 2 or 3 different banks who are willing to lend money to. So things will become much, much faster. All these intermediary brokers and others sit and cheat, people all will have a hard time. So I think in step by step, in education, a lot of things, particularly when I was active at IIM Calcutta, we had a, instead of the 2-year program that you had to sit in the, we had an online program where we started putting a lot of AI type things, but that has to speed up. What you have to do for 2 years sitting on a campus, you can do in 1 year sitting where you're doing your own work. So the possibilities are endless to make life easier, to learn better, to test yourself, etc., etc. You'll find it in practically all parts of life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Aksa Marimebi from Excelsior. So my question is, as far as I am aware, AI has not been able to work to the level of human emotions. But I get a feeling that it will soon do so, considering the pace of development. What is your say on this, sir?
My view is that some people will try and sell you fake human emotions through AI, but it won't happen in the future. Human emotions is very specific to human beings. And but having been an algorithm designer myself, some people will create some answers and say, oh, see, it gives you, no, emotions is something that people, either one person and the another person engage with, and even if you say something, the other person knows the context in which it's said, etc., etc. So I would say don't have any fears that will come and overtake and misuse people. But on the other hand, it doesn't mean that people won't try. It's like saying I have good banking and online banking system, but there will always be some guys who want to cheat, right? So that will exist. That will exist. But it won't take over the emotion and etc. You'll say, I don't want any boyfriend anymore, I just have a phone and I'll chat. That won't happen to you, don't worry. Yeah?
Thank you for that question. Our next question is asked by Pranav Nair of Pallikudam.
Hello, yeah. With the introduction of AI, what changes can be brought to our educational system?
Key, looking at the school end, first of all, let's look at the college end, which I'm very more familiar with, postgraduate, etc. It is very tough to get high quality professors and teachers in the scale and number that we want in India. Because I've dealt with it, particularly I was chairing a government committee on polytechnics. Okay, there are people who go to polytechnics to learn, and they are very important because these are, unlike the BTechs from IITs, polytechnic people can do things with their own hands and it's very badly needed. There's not enough teachers. So we can, if get well thought out AI system which will help them learn new techniques, will make a big breakthrough. That's just one example. There can be many such things in every type of college. Writing skills. You can write a short story and the algorithm will help you say what is not okay and it give you the spirit of it, and you can try more and it will talk back to you. There are things of that kind. There are endless possibilities. Endless. But most of it will be in terms of professional education first. But that is where we don't have enough teachers, high quality. So it is a real challenge. In Kerala there is no problem, but you have to travel to Orissa and Bihar and that, the eastern part of India, you feel like crying. I actually had tears in my eyes when I sat in on some of the polytechnics and hear them talk crap. They insult the student. They say, why are you here? You should be going and lifting some weights. We don't know these things. Largely in South India, that was dispensed with about 7,500 years ago. But in the eastern part of India, the middle part, Madhya Pradesh, they're very sad situation. And there are equally in a random sample, there'll be as many bright kids there as in Kerala, but they don't get the opportunity. And then they'll go join a train and go to Bombay and work as a auto rickshaw driver or cleaner. Some of them are very bright. So we can give education to all of them. There's the invention of mill-made cloth. Earlier, only rich people could wear cloth and walk around. With mill-made cloth, everybody could afford cloth. That is it.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Amritalakshmi from Marian Senior Secondary School. My question is that how do you address the ethical concerns associated with the use of AI in the media and technology?
Okay, I'll answer it indirectly. I'll give you a knife, a nice knife, and I give it to you and say, what's your name again?
Prithalakshmi.
Prithalakshmi, please explain to me, how will we have a system where people will never misuse this knife? They should not use it to stab anyone. They should not use it to cut somebody's throat. How will you answer that question? Maybe because in our culture we know a knife can be dangerous, but we have taught ourselves that don't use it for dangerous things. Okay? So similarly, just as people, weapons like knives and many other things, chemicals particularly, poisonous chemicals, we figured out a way to not only punish people who use it wrongly, that for only 1%, but also build a culture around using these things, widely disseminate what the pluses and minuses are, and then society will pick it up. So if you hear of how do you make sure a knife is never misused, so let us not introduce knives into human society. Kya karega? Not good, right? Similarly, it's a challenge. There is no simple answer to it. A society must find a way, and it will find a way of dealing with it. Yeah?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now within AI, they are starting to feed, like say, videos, like videos from influencers, videos that are very opinion-based, or even texts that are opinion-based. So how does the AI have the ability to filter it? And is AI using a pattern, or can it generate a new idea of its own? Is it just going to compile a pattern in a concise manner for you?
It can, it will. First, the programmer will try to extract the pattern. But what is even more worrying than what you said is today, people are able to create videos using AI. Create a video of who is the most, of Bill Gates chatting, talking, and Bill Gates has nothing to do with it. It was great. It took his various images, compiled them, and then made him speak with some certain which he is not part of. So creating videos is also very much part of the current AI experimentation. How do we, it is a larger question. When you pay somebody to model and he says something wrong, how do you catch him?
But the data is not accurate because Bill Gates hasn't put it in. So the data itself is not accurate. So then why would you trust the AI? Because
it is like saying when you invent a camera, a video camera, let's ban it, and people ask why, because they can go and stage a drama, take a picture on it and pretend that it's a real one. What do you say, ban video cameras? No?
But video cameras are capturing what is, like even if it's theatre, it's capturing it. It's capturing within that
So
frame,
this is one step more. You don't need actors. You can get actors to act everything and capture a video camera. Okay?
But it's still an event that's happening. Like
It is a pretended event. For example, you'd say that some estate owners in Kottayam Hills are beating their wives, beating the women workers, and you get them to act it and to upload it on the internet.
That's true.
Then, on the other hand, if you spend a little time with me, I can help you not do any acting. Just the algorithm will create all these images, capture the face of one of these mill owners from his photo somewhere on the internet and create it, and it's, my God. So these are parts of normal law and order maintenance procedure. Don't blame the technology for it. Otherwise, as I said, you would have to ban the video camera. Yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Neha Susan Matthew, studying in class 12. So my question is, will emotional intelligence be possible for AI?
Again, I throw the question back. Can you write a novel which is emotionally very involving? The answer is yes. Can you write a novel which is emotionally destructive to people? You can, yes. Thereby shall we ban all books and ban all fiction writing? So yes, you can create any form of art. I think be it books or music or movies. You can create it in any way you want. And how do you prevent it from happening? Because there's a social consensus that, you don't do those things. Like in the film business, there's a censor board, okay, and etc., etc. Similarly, there will be ways in which people will try to do this for mischievous reasons. We will, at the moment, there are no such laws and rules. There are none, because it's early stage. But society will evolve one. We have no fear about it. When it happens, society will evolve one.
Thank you.
There's some controversy on whether India should develop our own large language models. Narayana Murthy, for example, says should. What is your opinion?
Okay, one of the challenges of building an open, a new language model in India is the cost of doing it will be something like 150,000 crores, some figure like that. So my good friends Narayana Murthy and even Nandan Nilekani have gone on record saying that we should not worry about that end. That let America and others do it. We will only do applications on that LLM. It's a little controversial, I think. In some ways, India's IT services companies, which they all own and run, are like that. They say India should not develop any algorithm, but provide low-cost Indians who will help them build applications on those algorithms. That is India's IT services thing. So they're recommending the same thing. In a sense, they are practically, in a sense, right. But I come from another school of thought. I think we should figure out a way to make AI less expensive than it currently is. That needs some breakthrough. Okay, and there are bright enough people in India who can do it. And we'll have to see whether any government efforts will succeed or not. So I'm saying that don't leave it all to America or Japan and China to create the big models, and we'll only do application software. That is what IT services guys have been doing. It creates jobs, no question about that. But do you want to give up hope? I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's a നമ്മുടെ കേരളത്തിലെ സാർ ആരാന്നൊന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നല്ലതാണ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി.
I'm Professor John. I work with the Institute for Plasma Research in Ahmedabad on plasma physics and applications including thermonuclear fusion, where AI is one of the tools for interpreting data from plasma physics.
Okay. He's a നമ്മുടെ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ പത്മശ്രീ ഓണറാണ്. നമുക്ക് കോട്ടയത്ത് ഉള്ള പത്മശ്രീ ഉള്ള ആളാണ് ഞാൻ. സാറ് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് സാറിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഈ ലെവലിൽ.
May I ask my response to your question was okay?
Yeah, I also agree with you that we should do our own thing, but I was concerned. I was concerned. I was concerned that they were actually repeating what Altman said. That India should not.
Absolutely.
I've seen that the present day students, they are not good at addition tables, subtraction tables, etc. Okay, so how this AI can help them?
I completely disagree that present students are bad in pluses and minuses. As a matter of fact, they are 10 times more effective than people were in my age. Okay? Really. Okay. But having said that, some of them are not lucky to have come from middle class families like mine, where father is a doctor and mother has been to college and they can help you with small things and explain. They come from maybe where mother is a person who lifts burdens and sweeps floors. There's nobody to help them at home. So we need to supply them with tools whereby they can compensate for not having help at home for such things. That is it. It is not that today's children are 10x better, I can tell you.
Okay.
But we need to help those below a certain income group, and particularly, I say, in Eastern India, Northeast India, I think, in Kerala, if somebody told a child, why do you want to learn mathematics, people will hit her. Yeah? But there, people will say, why do you need to learn to read? What will you do because of that? So that we have a problem in that area. But we need to help them. We can't just leave them behind. We need to help them.
Okay. Thank you.
I have migrated from Bombay to Kottayam and recently started a School of Technology and Artificial Intelligence. In your talk, you did mention that everything starts with a hype and then there is a trough and then it can go back again.
Yeah.
So I have a twofold question to you. One, to an institution like me, what's your advice? And secondly, what's your advice to the general students about learning these new technologies? Thank you.
I think we should focus at the moment on less on the hype of what you can do and more on the tools that they can use. Like basic data science is a case. If you don't know basic data science, there's no question of going. And help them to use non-coding algorithms where you can, you don't need to learn Python code like guys like me, I do. But there's a ways to encourage them and not have a fear of mathematics and all that. That's a big step forward. But this kind of rising and hyping, those are inevitable in any industry. Any industry. So you have to say that, hey guys, learn, this is a thing. But learn the basics, and when it comes back up again, you be ready to use it. That's yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your thoughtful questions, and thank you, sir, for your clear and crisp answers.
Yeah.
To honor a distinguished guest, I now invite Abraham Itticheria sir, President of Kottayam Public Library, and Dr. Father Abraham Mulamudal, founder of Talks India, to present a memento to Mr. Ajith Balakrishnan as a token of our deep gratitude.
Thanks. Thank you. Oh, Oops.
Thank you. Now we are thrilled to announce the winners.
I know. We have to give these books also. I think we can say.
The 3-volume book on the history of Kottayam Public Library is now being presented by Abraham Itticheria sir to Ajith Balakrishnan sir.
This is, besides that, this happens to be the story of Kottayam Public Library as well as the major events that happened in Kottayam during the last 40 years. 3 volumes.
Thank you.
3 volumes.
This might take me back to reading in Malayalam. Well, right through school and college, I used to read Malayalam novels and then lost touch completely. Well, she's a convent-educated girl. She doesn't know Malayalam. Right, Renu?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it might put me back to read Malayalam again. Yeah. Thank you.
Now we have Bins Biju of grade 9, Mahatma Gandhi Government Higher Secondary School, Pala, who has made a pencil sketch of Ajith Balakrishnan sir. He would like to hand it over to him.
Yes, got it.
Thank you.
That's for that.
Finish?
It's on Pali.
Thank you. These bright minds exemplify the spirit of innovation and excellence that Talks India stands for.
First, the Talks India SA2 competition results. First prize, Harigovind ND, class of +1, NSS School, Kottayam.
As we announce the winners, the students are requested to quickly move towards the stage. These essays were written based on Talks India 2's talk by Medha Patkar.
There's one more first prize, class 11, Ma Basilius Public School,
Devalokam, Kottayam.
Second prize goes to Vinia Maria Matthew, Class 9, Ma Baselios Public School, Devalogo. The third prize is secured by Neha Susa Matthew. She is also a student of Ma Baselios School. We have a few consolation prizes also. Iona Anna Shobha, Class 9, Ma Baselios Public School. Arsha Ranjita, Class 11, Giridibam Bedani Central School, Kottayam. Malaviga Shaji Kumar, Class 11, Giridibam Bedani Central School, Vadavadu. Ivana Liju James, Ma Baselios Public School. Now we are announcing the college level essay competitions results. First prize goes to Musamil Majid, 4th year architecture student, RIT Pambadi, Kottayam. Prize goes to Alvin Reju, final year electronics, RIT Kottayam.
As we approach the conclusion of this evening, I invite Dr. Father Abraham Mulamotel to share key announcements and deliver the vote of thanks, sir.
I think first of all I have to say thanks to the wonderful speech as well as the presentation. You know, I am very happy that I was also talking about our education policy 2020 NEP. But I have seen the person who developed that policy statement as well as the document itself. So we are very happy that
One of 12 people.
no, of the 12 people we are here. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഈ പ്രദേശത്തുള്ള ആളുകൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഈ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ പോളിസി പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് എല്ലാ സ്കൂളുകളും ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണ്. ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ബി യുവർ ഫ്യൂച്ചർ ഓൾസോ. And we are very blessed by his presence here. And I wanted to invite you again for the presentation on NEP itself. That means that will be the future, so that all our teachers as well as the university, now the university as well as the schools are groping on all the things, what is happened, what is the new education policy, what is that. I think you can give a good presentation on that also for the after some months. Okay.
We have one more prize winner. She's from Talks India 1. She's won first prize in essay writing, Jemima Ann Chaco of Excelsior English School.
I think he has already said that he will give the PowerPoints. We can share to all the students, and it will be available in our website so that you can download as well as you can read. And the next essay competition you can be based on that program. So we are very happy. Again, thank you very much.
Talks India. Think differently, analytically, critically.